Bye. Stay safe.
Bye.
You.
What's happening? Oh my God. This is our valley moment to
Mhm.
to look at where we are, think about where we are, think about where we want to be, and start thinking about a strategy to move differently. I think if the Black community and Black and Brown community or the underserved communities aren't thinking of this point, how could I make my life different so I'm never in this position again? I know about the emotional weight.
Can they make their life different? I
Well,
think
here's the
that's kind of what I
question.
was hearing.
Here's the
Can
question,
we?
because I asked her, she was there education? She says, yeah, there was education. So my thought is education. But when you say there was education and there was no change, well, then where do you go from there? But we need to not just sit in it. We really need to come up structurally. It doesn't have to be things that people have to do individually. We're not all able to pull ourselves up individually, but we're not alone. See, that's what our society is, this me society. How those of us that can pull ourselves up, those of us that can help others through our jobs, through positions like Jennifer's organization, through all of the things that she's on the board on, you're on the board on, through even the things that I'm on the board on, and I'm not on that many anymore. But how do we, through whatever we're doing, do what we can to make a difference in those communities? Because you know what? Those communities are us. And as long as they're disenfranchised, as long as they're less than, we're not as much as we could be. We're not as happy as we could be. So we are our brother's keeper. I didn't want to take the floor that way, but that is how I feel. That to me is, and we need to be thinking about that, not about, oh, this is that, and this is that, and this is why. Okay, now we know the why. We got it. I've been hearing the why all for weeks. Where do we go from here?
That is exactly my thinking. And it has so much to do with expectation. But yet I understand all of the underlying structural disadvantages that we do in fact have.
It's a big thing.
And then I think about my parents and growing up, my mother in the South, my father in New Jersey, both went to college back in the 50s. That was a blessing, and I think about what the expectations that were set for my life and how it was instilled. And I just feel that to the extent that we can, let's just believe in ourselves,
Tony, because
Let's just believe
my
in
parents did
ourselves.
not. My mother was a teacher, but my father was not. He barely got his high school diploma, right?
Right.
But that was a man that worked, and he took. My mother didn't work after she married him. She was a teacher, and he made her take care of the children once we were born. He supported us all, and we didn't only live in a tenement. My father bought a brand new house in the Bronx. Now, I'm pointing out to you that you don't have to, yes, it's wonderful if you have all the accoutrements like the college education and the big job. However, people that don't have can have.
Mhm.
That's what I've learned because
Yes.
we had. I never considered myself poor, and looking back on my life, there are a lot of people a lot poorer than we would have been and my father was the only one working, and he did not have a college education. So maybe don't call me a Pollyanna, but it's from that experience and other people around me. We weren't the only ones that I know what's possible.
And I agree with you. And in so many ways, our upbringings were blessings.
Yes.
Some people are not as blessed, so the struggle is harder. But guess what? It's all a struggle, meaning, you know, you're not going to get away with a life that doesn't have that dimension in it. I think it has so much, I'm hoping that it has to do with, I just feel it's a core belief that drives you. There's a positive energy that drives you. It's the idea that I'm going to make a difference. My life is going to count. You know, I'm going to have a life of service, you know, because with service, you know, it becomes some greatness, you know, when you serve.
It's
I
value
don't know.
too. It's value.
It's
I think
complicated
about
because
my value.
I don't want to take my life and say, hey, I did all this, so now you can.
See, yeah, I
Way
have
more
to be careful with
complicated than
that.
that. Yeah,
I
it's
realize that.
complicated than that.
I
It's more
realize.
complicated, but yet and still. But you know something? I had you on recording.